Welcome to Rouse Fly Box. Today we're going to tie the turkey tail emerger. Turkey tail emerger has been with me for a while now. Produced very favorably for me. Let's go over how I tie it. I start off with a Caddis emerger hook size 14 to 10. This is size 12. And 6/0 olive dun uni thread. And we're going to start our thread. We're going to wrap it back to a point about halfway into the bend of the hook. Take this quite a ways back. And I like to give it about a 40, I know I'm in the right spot when I'm about 45 degrees with the thread to the point of the hook. And at this point we're going to tie in fine gold wire. And we're going to wrap that back to the same point. And the next material we're going to tie in is wild turkey tail fibers. We're going to take a strand about, we're going to give you about 8 to 10 fibers from the tip, because those are your longest fibers. You want long fibers. And you're going to use every bit of them. And then I like to trim off the tip to even them. And we're going to wrap our thread back to the near the tie-in point. Do a pinch wrap. Take our thread back to the end point on the bend of the hook. And then we're going to bring our thread up to a point about 2 eye lengths back from the eye. And then we're going to palmer wrap our fibers forward in a clump. Just one in front of the other. And you're going to wrap them forward, keeping them all together. And when you get to a point where you're just past the point of the hook vertically, you're going to tie it off. And then give a couple wraps in the front. You don't want to bind it down yet, but a couple wraps in the front of that just to keep it there as a post. Then you're going to counter wrap your gold wire. You're just going to rib forward, standard nymph ribbing style, evenly spaced. Should be able to get 4 or 5 wraps. And then I bring the wire up twice in front of the post just to keep it locked in place. And trim your wire. Next material you're going to tie in. First, one more step here. Then you're going to come back and wrap back into that post just a little bit and lock it in place right there. The next material you're going to tie in is a mallard or a wood duck CDC feather, wood duck color CDC. And you're going to trim it to where it's about half each side is going to be about half the shank length of your hook. You just spread it back like this and then trim the sides. And you're going to sweep them forward first, and you're going to tie them in tip first, right in front of that post. And you're going to draw it back. And you're going to grab your turkey or your CDC feather. And I like to give just a few turns in the very beginning. It'll start to form a little bit of a rope, but you're not really going to go all out for that rope. And you're going to palmer it. Back to front. And as you get into the new fibers, I give a twist, turn, twist, turn, twist, turn, twist, turn, and I use pretty much as much of the feather as I can till the stem gets a little too stiff. And then you're going to tie off. When the tan caddis are coming off heavy in the summer, I like to fish this dead drift, like a standard wet fly, just under the film. And they tend to take it fairly aggressively. And then next you're going to pull your fibers forward. Pull those turkey fibers forward. And bind them down like a wing case, leaving a little bit of space. You still want to have an eye length left there. And split them by hand. Want to get them evenly split. Probably 4 and 4, 5 and 5. Just get them even. They don't have to be exact. This is the hardest part of the fly, is getting the fibers to coordinate. And you're going to pull it back on the near side, bind it down right in front of that CDC. Pull down on the far side, and you see that's going to leave you a little bit of a head gap, but that's okay. Trim off a couple of flyers, and you're going to bind down. You want a substantial head on this fly. You don't want that big of a lump. But you want to have a substantial head. And then you're going to whip finish. And clip your thread. And then you're going to trim your turkey fibers. And you're only going to make them about 1/8 of an inch long. And then last but not least, you're going to put a substantial amount of head cement and give this an obvious head. And there you go. The Wild Turkey Merger. Very effective caddis merger. Taken very aggressively. Like I said, I drift this just under the film and dead drift it, and they are taken very nicely. Hope this adds to your box as it has mine. Good luck. See you in the water.